USPBL Baseball presented today by UWM on We're Hiring Wednesdays. Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field, just about underway here in this fine matchup today versus the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and the home Utica Unicorns here today. Jeremy Otto alongside Nick Matthews to bring you the call here today. So glad you could tune in on your Wednesday. And, you know, there won't be a lot of Wednesdays, but there's a couple sprinkled in to the schedule this year, and you know there'll always be a night associated with it, and today it's Oldies night. There you go.
Not only is it Oldies night, but it's also Meet the Beavers night.
Yeah, big time.
Big time. Big time Beavers, big time game here today. We got the Charging Unicorns on a 6-1 record to start off the season. They're at the tip top of the USPBL League, and they're on a 4-game win streak. That's right. It's a fairy tale fantasy start, if you will.
Yeah, no doubt. This Unicorns team looking to repeat as champions once again this year. Had a hot end to the season, and you know we're on top of the standings all season long last year, and they're right on top there this year as well. In terms of last week, a lot of good action. Kind of the home runs continued. Two guys I know you have highlighted and circled here today. Drew Galassi has done a lot of good things, hasn't he?
That's right. Drew Galassi. What can you say? He's hot. He's hitting .368. He's got the most hits on the team. He's also getting on base quite frequently with a .478 on base percentage. He's also hit 2 dingers and leads the team in walks and RBIs. What more can you ask for him?
And home runs over are kind of up in the USPBL compared to last year. And this Beavers team is second in the USPBL in home runs at 6. 5 of them were in one game just a couple weeks ago. But this is an offense that I think we're intrigued to see what they can do.
Exactly. Another notable player, number 15, Frankie Luxka. He's hitting .500 against right-handed pitchers. So if a relief pitcher comes into this game, you best be watching out for Frankie. He's also hitting .609 on base percentage. He's got 4 runs, and he's just providing for this Unicorns team just to keep the momentum going for him. And I'll see if he can do that here today.
A guy certainly that has shown that he can draw some walks as well. 9 walks compared to just 1 strikeout early on this season. In terms of our pitching preview here today, brought to you by Ascension, as always, on the USPBL Network. It'll be Jordan Carr versus Malik Barrington, 2 of the fresher faces here in the USPBL, especially for Jordan Carr. 2 guys as well that have thrown some innings in the bullpen and as starters, and as the pitching staff and the managers, you know, kind of sort out what they have here. Those are 2 guys that could probably flourish in either role as well.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. And now the Beavers, they're working through the woodworks a little bit, but they have another notable player too. They're hitting Travis McFarland. He's a force to be reckoned with at the plate. He leads the team in batting average, RBIs. He's tied for first with home runs. He's also got the most on-base percentage. The guy is just producing for this team. Let's see if he can keep it going and hopefully draw out a win for the Beavers here today, a much-needed victory too. And Austin Shoemaker behind the dish to protect the plate as much as possible, to limit the runs, limit the extra base hits, and provide small ball when he's up at the dish, because he can get on base too.
Yeah, Shoemaker's certainly done a great job leading this pitching staff as well, and we're enthused to see what he can do with Malik Barrington and company as this game unfolds. Now time to take a peek at your lineups, brought to you by AAA of Michigan. As always, first for the visiting Beavers here today, it's the shortstop Keyshawn Lynch leading it off here for Ed Campanella squad. Batting second is the left fielder Roy Verdejo. Batting third, the first baseman Travis McFarland. It's LeBoy, Binder, and Mercedes in the middle. Mercedes, a new addition to this Beaver squad. It'll stay that way the rest of the way. Talk a bit about that as the game continues as well. Elijah Salea, Collier Rutledge, and Austin Shoemaker rounded out as they face Jordan Carr. As for the home Utica Unicorns here today, it's Frankie Luxka leading off and playing left field. Ryan Ray bats second and plays right. Galassi, Childress, and Sakopoulos right in the heart of Jim Essian's lineup here today. The return of Aaron Takis has been a big thing as well to this team as he plays third base and bats 6th. Jordan Finney bats 7th and catches. Donovan Curiel and John Hodo round out the lineup here today. Some decent hitters top to bottom for this Utica Unicorns team. Now time to take a look at Nick's keys to the game. What do you have?
Keys to the game. Charging Unicorns. They got to get batters on base. That is the main thing. That's how else are you going to get runs? You got to get people on base. They have to have solid defense and limit the extra base hits. And if they can do those 2 key things, they're going to have sunshine and rainbows and a fairy tale happy ending here, just like they wanted. And now for the Beavers, they're going to need to protect the plate as much as possible. They're going to have solid defense to help their pitchers, because if the Unicorns start ramping up, start charging ahead, it's going to be hard to slow them down because they have hot batters right now, and it's going to be definitely difficult.
Well, the Unicorns and the Beavers, again, starting out another week. It's been that way whether the day is a Friday, a Thursday, or a Wednesday here today. They've started out every week and started us out on opening day because those are the two teams that competed in the championship, both vying for that spot once again here on the USPBL Network. Stick with us.
Your neighbors are going to be jealous when they see you're getting a new Connecticut water system. Say goodbye to hard water problems. No more spots on your glassware. Your laundry will feel and smell better. Your hair and skin will look and feel better. Say goodbye to hard water problems and say hello to great tasting crystal clear water with CGC Water.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Preparing for today's We're Hiring Wednesday, presented by United Shore. Join the big leagues. Hashtag #BeYouHere. And sponsored by AAA, Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for this league. Jordan Carr climbing atop the hill for the Utica Unicorns here today. The 6'2", 200-pound lefty out of Pasadena, Maryland, getting his second start of his USPBL career, but his fourth appearance overall, as he's come out of the bullpen a couple times as well. This is a really solid arm to look at. Guy that has some of the highest spin rates, or the highest. I think it's safe to say spin rates on average on every pitch. It doesn't matter which one. So certainly a prospect to watch as this year unfolds. Certainly one of the newer arms available to Jim Essien's team as well. First pitch of the ball game, grooved in at 7:07. A high hop there for Curiel, throws across the diamond. A nice pickup by Noah Childress for the first out. Defense or no?
A nice 73-degree day. First play, first pitch, 1 out. Quick work.
Check the defense here behind Jordan Carr, sponsored by AAA of Michigan. In left field, it's Frankie Laska. Center fielder is Drew Colossi. Ryan Ray. In right field, once again, it's Takis and Childress on the corners. Hodo and Curiel up the middle with Jordan Finney catching the pitches here today. Certainly one of the highest regarded catchers in the USPBL in terms of his catching ability, his pitch framing. 89-mile-an-hour fastball inside.
It's good to see Takis back over at third base. Missing a couple games here and there after that blow. Oh, shot right back towards us.
Yeah, a blow that kind of went viral. A pulled hamstring, if you can even call it that, across the first base bag. A sure double for Aaron Takis, and it was something you didn't like to see because he was playing so well before the injury. The 1-2, Verdejo reaches and fouls that one back to the screen. But his buddy made a little TikTok out of it, and it ended up on Instagram, and it got upwards of 10,000 views. 1-2 again is pounded back.
A small viral video from our own USPBL player. It's good to see that, but not to see the blow, obviously.
Good that he's back in, right?
Right.
And they kind of knew that. They commented on that as it was posted. 1-2 outside to Verdejo, 2-2. Roy hitting 5 for 23 on this young season. 2 home runs to his credit thus far. 2-2 again, slap foul.
It's going to land over by the wiffle ball field. Kid might find a lucky place. Lucky item.
Playing wiffle ball, and then the ball just drops in. Here's the 2-2. Again, whittled foul. Deep arsenal really for both of these two pitchers here today. It's a 2-seam and a 4-seam for Jordan Carr. And then the curveball, the slider, and the changeup as well. Mostly 2-seam and curveball throughout his outing so far. But you got to remember, a lot of that has been out of the bullpen. 2 bullpen appearances and 1 start where he went just 3 innings over to first base, and they say he did not go. Caught up with Jordan Carr before the game, and he wasn't exactly sure how long he would go today. He did pitch on Sunday, just a 1-inning appearance, but he almost treated that as a bullpen, which, I mean, it was a quick appearance, so why not? 3-2. Nice slider on the outside part of the plate for strike 3.
2 quick outs. That one he had to work for it a little bit, but ended up getting it in the end.
Brings up Travis McFarland now. Nick mentioned him in the pregame show, certainly as a hitter to watch, hitting 3rd, again for Ed Campanella's team.
Certainly one of their more power hitters. Obviously, 2 dingers, few RBIs on the season already. Very early, and he's hitting above 300, so got to keep an eye on him.
76-mile-an-hour slider in for strike 1. Christian LeBoy, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the first. Line drive to the gap in right center field. That's going to chase Ryan Ray over there. And a nice 2-out knock here in the first.
I'll pat his stats a little bit. Bring up Christian LeBoy.
LeBoy off to a tough spot in terms of what we expected coming in, but certainly a bat to keep an eye on.
Especially in that 4-hole. Usually they have quite a punch with their bat.
Just 2 for 18 to begin his pro career. Does have himself an RBI and 3 walks compared to just 5 strikeouts, so seeing the ball a bit better lately. One grooved in for strike 1 to even the count. Reminder, you can chime in with us both on Facebook and YouTube. Joyce Reynolds says, "Go Beavers." Cole Stanton, number 15. Sandra Marsick says, "Go Beavers" as well. Raymond Thomas, Yolanda, and Mary all checking in.
Slapped. Foul.
1-2 quickly here on Christian LeBoy. Dallas Binder would be next, and then Nafi Mercedes, the new addition to this Beavers team.
Speaking of additions, there might be some possible expansion here with the 9 innings. A couple more frames added to the games now. A couple more players might join the league.
Yeah, probably needed from a pitching standpoint. You can probably roll with the 2 to 3 bench players going forward if you want, but for these managers, I'm sure they'd love to see maybe even one more position player added as well. But at the same time, for teams that don't play every day, you also don't want to have to distribute those at-bats too much and sit guys really too much, because you need your at-bats in the games that happen.
Speaking of at-bats, Dallas Binder's got a couple men on here. Jordan Carr quickly let LeBoy go, and now he's got a man on first and second with 2 outs. Could be trouble early on for the Unicorns. See if he can get this guy here.
Now the 0-1. Slap foul, the fastball at 88. It's a fastball with above average spin. You can say to put at least 2,300. It's hard really to quantify spin these days according to how it is in the major leagues. But last year, spin 2,100. I guess that'll become truer and truer as the rules start to tighten up around Major League Baseball these days. That memo coming out the other day. No substances besides rosin.
Both runners going.
And it's McFarland and LeBoy, who both advance here with 2 outs.
Regardless, The spin rate, put in layman's terms, it's fast. It's just straight up fast. No matter if it's a fastball, if it's a curveball, it's going to move.
Bender, the third baseman here today for the Beavers. Here's the 1-2. Slides in for strike three. Nice slider to end things here in the first. Nothing becomes of the two base runners with 2 outs. It's the single by McFarland and the walk by LeBoy. They're stranded on second and third to begin the game here today. Are we going to Chelsea's mic here? Time for your Thrifty Florist Sweethearts of the game in the ballpark here on Oldies Night, and we're going to send it to Chelsea Estes on the field for them.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's time for JJ the Field General presented by Thrifty Florists. I'm here with Teresa, and JJ chose her out of all the fans in the stands tonight to be his very, very lucky sweetheart. So congratulations, Teresa, on being JJ's sweetheart of the game, and these beautiful bouquet of flowers presented by Thrifty Florists. Chris, back to you.
It's Chelsea Estes throwing it back to the public address announcer here today, Chris Schneider, as well. Time to take a look at your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast facts here today. See what we have. On average, gas costs just 18 cents per gallon at the start of the 1950s and 25 cents per gallon at the end of the decade. Let's bring that back, huh?
Yeah, right. It's upwards $3 now.
In 1960, a slice of pizza cost 15 cents. A McDonald's hamburger was also 15 cents, and candy bars were 5 cents a piece. And how about this? Beavers can stay underwater for about 6 to 8 minutes. I can barely stay underwater at all while I'm swimming. There's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast facts here today. As you get a peek at Malik Barrington for the first time, the 6'3", 225 righty, getting his second start here tonight as well. A guy that has seen some time out of the bullpen. 7 1/3 innings in total. 1 earned run, that's it, for a 1.23 ERA. 4 walks to 7 strikeouts. Another guy that really relies on his movement out there.
Not to mention sub-1 whip and a 120 opponent batting average. Certainly an ace up on the bump today.
Yeah, him and A.J. Coleman really battling for that top pitching spot this year. Coleman getting the opening day start for Ed Campanell and the Beavers. Normally, him and Austin Dakar would go at it in kind of the first game of the week, but that was the case for the first 2 days, and they sat back and went to their manager and said, hey, let's not face the the same guys every time, and that's something that Coleman did quite a bit last year, as Leska looks at strike 1 off speed to begin things here in the first. So both Coleman and Dakar, you saw them do the same thing last week. They did not face each other, per se, and they did not face the same team.
Leska, one of those hot bats for the Unicorns to keep them going. He's been hitting really well, good pieces of hitting. Both him and Galassi are 2 notable players you're going to want to watch out for today.
Leska's done a really good job as well as drawing the walk, not really forcing his at-bats. 9 walks to 2 strikeouts. Takes a nice hearty swing at the fastball there. Quickly 1-2 on Frankie. Seeing a lot of pitches in these at-bats. Done a good job of working up the pitch counts, and that's why you've seen him kind of be inserted back into the top of the lineup as well for Jim Essien this year. He was more cleanup / 3rd, 5th place hitter last year.
Usually that takes on the roles of the 1 and 2 batters, trying to get the pitch counts up, get on base for the 3 and 4 hitters to knock them in.
And combined at the top here today, it's Ryan Ray batting second. He has limited at-bats, but also has 2 walks. So 11 walks to just 6 strikeouts for those 2, and a rare chase for Frankie Leska. Usually steers those straight into the glove, but a nice pitch for Malik Barrington as he records his 8th K of the year. Now Ryan Ray still looking for his first hit in a USPBL uniform. 0 for 8 thus far. Does have those 2 walks like we mentioned. So 4 strikeouts thus far. First pitch off the plate outside.
Due up after Ray is Galassi, then Childress. Galassi been on a bit of a hot streak lately.
The home run ball, certainly a big part of his game lately. Had some tape measure home runs and no doubters so far. One of the best. That moonshot to right. Went 386 over the berm. Ooh, tried to hold up on that swing, could not. 1-2 quickly here on Ray.
Both Childress and Galassi tied for first on the team with home runs and leading 3 apiece.
In there for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Malik Barrington to start the first. So as we mentioned at the top of the show here today, 9-inning games. And there are a few exceptions to that, and it's a 2.5-hour time limit, so any inning that is about to start, if the 2.5 hours has eclipsed, then it will not start. The game will end. So there's hope that a majority of these games will get a full 9 innings in. But the 2.5-hour time limit certainly is something to keep track of.
Galassi wanted that one.
Quickly 0-1. 9 for 22, start at 902 slugging percentage for Galassi as this one rides outside 1-1. Him, Childress, and Sikopoulos make up a pretty dangerous middle of the order.
Combined, there's a shot. It's just going to go foul, though.
And when you add Aaron Takis to the fold as well, as he hits 6th here tonight for Jim Essian's team, that's a pretty good 3 through 5. Not even adding in Ryan Ray and Frankie Luska to that mix as well.
Going through the entire order, the Beavers are going to have a solid defense today because there isn't a single batter in this lineup that isn't, you would say, a weak link. So they're going to be facing batter after batter that is just prime.
Not necessarily something to write home about overall quite yet, but the Unicorns
There's a broken
have
bat.
the best average in the league thus far, as that bat does fly past the second base bag, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Malik Barrington. He breaks a bat, he strikes out a couple. What more can you do? Good start for Malik and the Beavers here tonight.
The Carpet Guys give you warehouse direct pricing and customer service that will knock your socks off.
Now at the Carpet Guys, you can get 4 years interest-free financing. Plus, we're taking extra precautions to ensure the safety of our customers.
Let the Carpet Guys bring the store to your door with prices that will knock your socks off. Be wise and call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS. Locally owned and supporting Michigan families.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the ninth and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the ninth, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
Pretty solid inning for both of these starting pitchers here tonight. For Jordan Carr, he did allow base runners after retiring the first 2 via ground ball off the bat of Keyshawn Lynch and a strikeout to Roy Verde. A single by McFarland and the walk by LeBoy and a pitch that got away from Jordan Finney. Sent runners to second and third before the strikeout to Dallas Binder.
The new face of the Beavers, Knifey Mercedes, coming in. Looks at first strike.
Yeah. Diamond Hoppers player before here tonight. It's a permanent move to the Beavers. 2 for 15 for Knifey Mercedes thus far. No walks to 6 strikeouts. Was hitting near the bottom of the Hoppers lineup before being transferred over to the Beavers here. As this one slides inside, 1-2. Elijah Salea would be next, and then Collier Rutledge, your Zach Hart agency 3-men due up here in the second. The 1-2, swing and a miss.
Another K for Carr.
Already his third here tonight. On the season, just 1 walk to 8 strikeouts now. Actually 2 walks because he had 1 back in the first. But with rosters technically kind of still at the same size they were with 7 innings, this is the picturesque start for these 2 managers here today. They love to see their 2 starters go as deep as they can.
Certainly you want the most out of the pitchers without them getting hurt. And from your batters, all you can ask for is good fielding, good hitting, good base running, and just the fundamentals of the game. And there's a shot.
Line
deep
drive
left
to
field.
left field. Luska!
It's over the wall. Oh, it's off the wall.
Allowing it to go to second base here is Salea, and he's going to dive his way in. So a strikeout to start the second, and then a double by Salea to get this Beavers offense going, Nick.
That was a solid hit to deep left. See if Rutledge can bat him in.
Bottom of the order, would love to get things moving for Ed Campanella's team. Total of 5 hits between Salea, Rutledge, and Shoemaker. Now the 1-0. Again, whittled off at the plate. A nice 2-0 pitch that Salea was able to drive, his 3rd extra base hit of the year as well. All of his hits have been for extra bases thus far. In for strike 2.
On 2 strikes and runner on second, you got to be able to foul something off that you don't like and drive it to the right side of the field to move him up.
Swing and a miss. Bears down and gets the strikeout. His 2nd out here of the 2nd inning. Now Austin Shoemaker will try to extend the inning here. Again, that's a fastball at 89, but certainly some above average spin on it. Here it is, hit it for Collier Rutledge and Mercedes and Bender and Verdejo, who have all struck out so far here tonight. Keyshawn Lentz here, Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the 1st inning. Now the 1-0 away.
It's a good eye from Shoemaker. He's got a good count to work with here. He's got a few to take away.
Austin has drawn a couple walks so far this season. 2-0, swing and a miss, the fastball that tailed.
As a hitter, bear down. Still got a good count, 2-1. A lot can happen with this.
Heavy fastballs for this left-handed arm so far today. 2-1, popped it up foul.
Now with 2 on him, he's got to foul something off. put it in play somewhere and make something happen. Good things happen when you put it in play.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Nice slider tailing to the outside part of the plate. And how about that? Jordan Carr allows a one-out double here in the second, but strikes out the side. Mercedes, Rutledge, and Shoemaker go down.
Whenever my family wants to enjoy the great outdoors, we pack up my Chevy Blazer and go camping in style. It looks great, and with the cargo management system, we can bring all the comforts of home away from home. Plus, with available 4G LTE Wi-Fi, the kids can still stay connected with friends. Thanks to my Blazer, roughing it isn't rough at all.
Lease a 2021 Blazer 2 LT for just $219 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Decent start for both of these pitchers here today. How about Jordan Carr? He has 5 strikeouts, 2 hits given up thus far, and a walk back in the first inning as well. For Malik Barrington, it was a 1-2-3 inning, 2 strikeouts himself, and a ground ball that went Mercedes to McFarland.
Certainly the starter that he was looking for. Barrington's going to work with Childress, Sakopoulos, and Takis in this inning.
Certainly a good part of this Unicorns lineup. A lot of these games have featured that one inning where the offense breaks through. Certainly been a lot of pitchers used, and not a surprising thing because guys are still building themselves up, especially for the guys who didn't pitch a college season. In the starting role at least, and there's a number of them in the league. Austin Dakar and A.J. Coleman, 2 of them for these 2 respective teams.
A little check swing there from Childress. Didn't go.
Childress 6 for 24 to begin his year.
Childress look at a strike right down the middle. Makes the count even.
First baseman here today for the Utica Unicorns. Now the 1-1 away. Certainly trying to continue what was a very hot stretch to end his college career at Lourdes. Certainly a year where he hit for a good amount of power. 2-1 pitch in on the hands as this one goes back to the stands and foul.
There's a lucky fan. Nice grab out there too. Some nice applause from the fans right by him.
Always fun to see that. Crowds growing and growing with each game here at Jimmy John's Field. Again, we're at full capacity, if you have not heard.
And you love to see that, and you love to hear that. Ooh, just check swing foul.
2-2 on Childress.
You love to see fans coming back to the ballparks, mask-free. It's great to see just people out again, getting some normalcy.
Popped him up. This one, a can of corn to the infield. Lynch calling for it for the first down.
Barrington squeaking past one of their more power hitters on this lineup.
Check the defense behind Malik Barrington, brought to you by AAA here today. It's Verdejo in left, Salea in center, LeBoy out in right, Binder and McFarland on the corners, Mercedes and Lynch up the middle, and Austin Shoemaker behind the dish here today as this one rides down low, 1-0.
The DH Sakopoulos stepping in for his first at-bat of the day.
Two for 13 start for Ari Sakopoulos. Certainly a bat that Willie Martin, the Director of Player Development, and everybody around the USPBL is enthused about. Here's the 2-0. Nearly hit him.
Look out. See if the third base coach gives him a 3-0 green light swing away. Make him pitch to him.
Fouled off, another fastball at 88. So he did give him the green light in that scenario. Not really a lot of signs, if any, here in the USPBL at this point. When they get towards the playoffs, they'll start to lay down a few more, but kind of up to your discretion. There's not going to be any bunt signs put down. Not many guys will bunt. And the message is kind of clear. Look, you know, the bunt is not going to get you to the next level.
No, but it will move a base runner up if needed.
So you will see them at the end of games at times, but often it's coming from the hitter, or certainly in the playoffs, or when things are down to the nitty-gritty in terms of records. Because in the end, ultimately, these teams do want to win as well. 3-2 is fouled off. Certainly player development is the #1 aspect of this league.
Sakopoulos now sees a full count from Barrington.
(3-2) hit him.
We got Ice Kid. Here we go. You love to see JJ working out there.
Sure do. Doing a good job. Another warm, sun-soaked day here today. Just about as perfect as it can get the last couple days here in the Metro Detroit area. Temperature-wise, it even cooled down quite a bit last night.
We're rocking at a solid 72 degrees here in downtown Utica.
First pitch to Tack as the fastball is outside. Going to warm up tomorrow, though, 86. Possible rain chance on Friday, 85-degree day. Saturday, 84. Sunday, 87. We'd love to see you out for any of those days here at Jimmy John's Field. A lot of good promotions coming at you this week as well. Today, Oldies Night, along with Meet the Beavers.
Saturday is German Heritage American Night.
Yep.
And, of course, Father's Day coming up, too.
1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2 to Aaron Takis. So tomorrow, Polish American Heritage Night as well. There'll be a polka band on site. Friday, fireworks as always. Barrington readying the 1-2. Here it comes. Chiseled off. Lynch on the bag. Over to first. Got him.
There's two. An unassisted 6-3 double play.
Nothing becomes of the one-out hit by pitch. Just only got 2 hits in this game and a lot of strikeouts and outs in general on the USPBL network.
Thanks, Chris. Yes, I am with some very lucky fans today. for Mr. Muffler's Lucky Road. Everybody knows that you need to take care of your car, and that means getting an oil change. So why not get it for free? That's right, my fancy name section 106.
I feel so secure to say I love insurance.
Hello, AAA Insurance.
Goodbye, insurance. Hello.
Insurance.
Get a quote and save up to 20%.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Just underway on a fine Wednesday. It's funny to say that, Wednesday baseball here at Jimmy John's Field. We'll have a few more throughout the year. I believe back-to-back Wednesdays here in June on the 16th and the 23rd. And then a couple in July on the 21st and 28th. A couple more in August as well, on the 4th and the 11th, before you get to the final month of September, where it's pretty much just 3 games. 3 regular season games and the 3 playoff games as well. So here comes Keyshawn Lynch now.
He grounded out in his last at bat. Let's see if he can get on base here.
This is a bat that the Beavers certainly would love to get going at the top of their lineup. Has shown some walkability, 5 walks to 6 strikeouts thus far, but they know he can hit. The guy that was drafted in the middle rounds back in 2017. As this one chopped on the ground to Curiel, wicked hop. That's going to range over his glove to begin the 3rd.
Not only can he hit, but he can also run too. Be careful. Finney's going to have a hard time controlling him on the base path because he's got 3 stolen bases already on the season.
And it looks like Keyshawn kind of came up limp across that first base back, kind of holding his left hammy maybe. Going to try to continue in this one.
He thought about going to second. Just not far enough away to pull the trigger on it.
And kind of the opposite when we talked about Aaron Takis's injury that kept him out a couple weeks. He knew he was going to second. Maybe just stepped in the bag a bit too hard. Never really know in those situations. 1-0. Slides inside the fastball at 87. Roy Verdejo had a strikeout back in the first inning. That was of the swinging variety on a 3-2 pitch from Jordan Carr. So he's allowed at least 1 base runner in every inning now. In the first, a couple with 2 outs, a single by McFarland, and then the walk by Christian LeBoy. In the second, the double by Celea, and that was it. Struck out 3 batters in the end. 3-0, fastball slides inside, and it's the first time we've seen this from either pitcher. The first 2 men have reached, let alone the first at all for either of these 2 guys tonight.
Jordan's going to have a little bit of a harder time with 0 outs also. If you're an infielder, first play's going to third. Second, see if you can turn 2 at second or first.
Hodo close to the second base bag. Curiel behind the runner here. 88-mile-an-hour fastball high and away. 1-0 as Finney takes a smart veteran walk to the mound here.
Probably talking about, hey, this guy's a good batter. Be careful. We got 2 men on, and he can hit.
Sure can. A pair of home runs, a pair of doubles. Has driven in 4 thus far. And that single back in the first inning. Hit number 6 would be huge not only for him but this Beavers offense.
One swing in the bat could bust this game wide open. Scratch off the first runs of the game.
Paying extra attention to that runner at second, 1-1 slapped foul.
McFarland searching for one pitch that he can take for a ride. Left center gap's looking pretty big. One hit there could bring in 2.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled him off.
Stay alive. Keep seeing some quality pitches. Best you can do here.
And mostly fastball curve slider here today for Jordan Carr. And he's going to look back. Lynch to seconds. And that's one thing that's not necessarily emphasized as much here in the USPBL is holding on runners, but Carr obviously coming straight from a college season, so he's had a lot of looks in terms of that.
Another foul from McFarland.
It's not to say that the league doesn't develop pitching, because that's the opposite of what is true. They look at a lot more facets than just that, but mostly mechanical changes. Try to get these guys to the best playing ability that they can in terms of velocity and injury prevention. Certainly a lot of cases of that, turning guys around. 1-2, wicked on the inner third of the plate for strike 3.
That was huge. That took a little bit of pressure off of Carr's shoulders. Gives him a little bit more breathing room, but he's got to face now Christian LeBoy.
That's the 6th strikeout of the game. That one on the curveball with major league type spin. Now Christian LeBoy, the few ducks on the pond, has driven in 1 run so far this year.
He could quickly add to that.
That one dances inside the fastball at 88.
Single to the right side. Brings in 1, possibly 2. And puts him on.
The slider got away 2-0 on LeBoy. Lynch on second, Verdejo on first. An error and a walk to begin this 3rd inning. A little flare into the glove of Galassi for the 2nd out.
2 away now for the Unicorns. A little bit more breathing room for Jordan Carr. Can't be mad at that as a coach, though. Nice shot to center field. Hitting contact. Eventually one of those will fall, and runners will move up.
Talked about the Beavers' struggles at the plate. They're the worst hitting team in the league currently at 155 in the average column per game. They've drawn 19 walks to 65 strikeouts thus far. You have to think that's going to improve. There's some hitters that are just trying to figure it out at the professional level. And when you look up and down this roster, really besides Keyshawn Lynch and Austin Shoemaker and Ron Williams Jr., who is not in the lineup here today, the 1-1, golfed it foul. A lot of these guys are new and fresh to the professional level. They've not played at other independents, and a lot have come straight from a college season.
And the good news is, experiment with it. Get trial and error. Making contact with the ball is the best way to do that.
Just adjusting from metal bat to wood bat can be a bigger thing than people realize. The 1-2, again, punched foul. The fastball at 89. So certainly a lot of upside available in this lineup for Ed Campanella. Today the bench is Williams Jr. and Luker. And more often than not, you won't see a lot of pinch hitting scenarios because, again, number one, the league is for development purposes. So you want guys to get their at-bats when they're not playing every day. Number two, they'll often get their game at some point during the week. Outside 2-2 on Binder. But that also makes it really important for a lot of these guys as well to play multiple positions because that makes it easy. If you're, maybe on the outside looking in terms of the lineup, you can take one guy out and then insert another.
Well, that's the thing with this league. There's a shot over to third base.
Attack is bobbles, and everybody is safe.
That's going to load the bases up with 2 outs. But that's the thing with this league. Every player needs to be able to play a couple multiple positions because you're not playing every day, and you also have a shorter roster. So you don't have a player that only plays one position, except for obviously the pitchers. But they got to be able to be a little bit of a utility player.
Well, and ultimately as well, if you can play a couple positions well, that just makes you even more attractable to the next level as well, wherever that may be. Line drive down the gap, and that is a fair ball into the corner. One run is going to easily score. Here comes the second around third, and standing his way on second with a stand-up double is Nafi Mercedes as he's driven in 2 here in the third.
There's his first RBIs as a Beaver. Well, that makes it 2-0 Beavers here in the top of the third inning. Zelaya now with runners on second and third.
He had himself a double back in the second inning, but that was a pretty good overall inning for Jordan Carr. He struck out 3. Mercedes, Rutledge, and Shoemaker all went down. 1-0 pitch is in for strike 1. All of a sudden, this has become a 7-batter inning for Jordan Carr. Did not face more than 5. That was back in the first.
First 2 innings, didn't put 2 people on back-to-back. The first inning he does. Turns into 2 runs. Beavers looking up, though, with Celaya. Makes that one a 2-2 count, fouls it off.
I'm not sure if that was a different grip or just taking something off, but the last curveball, that wasn't the curve, obviously. That was the 2-seam fastball at the top of the zone, but the last curveball we saw was at 69 from Carr. He's usually more around 75, 77. Here's the 2-2, just missed the black, wanting that call to scurry himself out of this inning. He did get the next 2 outs after allowing the first 2 to reach. It was an error to Lynch and a walk to Verdejo. 2-2 inside the slider, and a nice pitch to bury it to the righty there, and Celaya goes down fanning. That's the 7th strikeout already, and your 5th third bank, 5th third out of the game here today. That might be the end of the outing for Jordan Carr, as he hasn't been exactly stretched out as much here in the USPBL. Has had as much as a 7-inning outing in college this season, though. And he just came off a college season a week before he got to the USPBL. There's a look at JJ the Waterboy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union here today.
Of course, it could be the end of Jordan Carr. We might see a new fresh face come onto the mound, especially because this is now 9 innings. So they might want to save his arm a little bit. Malik Barrington for the Beavers going to go back to the mound.
He'll face Jordan Finney, Donovan Curiel, and John Hodo.
In the last inning, he had a fly out to Childress, hit Sakopoulos, and had a double play to end the inning.
So here's your DTE Energy Kid Race, the mascot here today. It's Buzz who gets the head start, and 2 kids barreling behind as they race here. A Diamond Hoppers fan, and looks like a Beavers fan as well, as they turn around the third base bag, heading their way home. and striding their way past Buzz as he's barely around the third base bag there.
Some speedy kids out there.
Always a cool moment, I'm sure, for them.
Especially going on to a professional baseball field. It's always a thrill.
And that's something that you get pretty good access to here at the USPBL. We talked about it earlier at the top of the show, Meet the Beavers night. An opportunity for the fans about an hour before the game and until probably, I don't know how long they're exactly out there, 15, 20 minutes, but have the opportunity to mingle with the players, get some autographs, get some pictures. And then, of course, kids run the bases after every game as well, so always see the rush of kids coming onto the field. They come out in big numbers. It's like, wow, where did all these kids come from? You don't even notice them. A lot of them, I'm sure, in the cabana suites with those birthday parties going on and just mingling on the lawn and sprinkled across the suites and certainly the grandstands as well.
Jordan Finney stepping in for the Unicorns.
Here's the first pitch to Finney. Playing him in was Verdejo. Has to back up pretty quickly, and he does get there in time for the first out here in the third. And it's been a very efficient 2 1/3 innings for Malik Barrington. He's only had 32 pitches.
Yeah, Barrington's pitch per inning is very low compared to other Beaver pitchers and, of course, other players in the league, too. 1 pitch, 1 out. It's best case scenario for him.
And it's funny because, you know, we saw the first 2 innings here today, and we thought, wow, this is going to be a straight pitcher's duel. And then the Beavers' offense rallied a bit, got themselves 2 runs off the nice 2 RBI double by Nafi Mercedes. They sent 7 to the plate. It could have been worse. They still had runners on second and third with 2 outs before the 7 strikeout by Carr retired Celea swinging.
And exactly what they needed to do. They need to get on base, play some small ball, and just scratch across runs and claw their way to a victory. That's what they need to do against the Unicorns today.
Curial looks at this one inside. Shortstop that just doesn't make errors. Whether he's playing shortstop or second base, he did in the last frame. 1-1 golfed it. Should loop its way past the glove of Verdejo as it does. He's going his way to second base and out.
Wow.
Nice exchange there from Verdejo to Mercedes as Mercedes gives him a nice clap from his second base position there.
That was a bullet right to second base.
I was about to say the only way that Curial gets to second base there is if he reads it right away, and he did round the first base bag right away. He wasn't slacking, he wasn't jogging to second base, but good play by Verdejo and Mercedes all the way around, and now there's 2 outs.
Verdejo says, and you're not going to catch me sleeping out here.
The no-hitter broken through 2 1/3 for Malik Barrington. The only batter he allowed to reach was hit by pitch to Ari Sakopoulos back in the second. Checking the swing, and they say he did not go. This is John Hodo. 3 for 23 start for him. 2 walks to 4 strikeouts. 2-1 swing and a miss.
Hodo with one of the more colorful personalities in this league. You always can have a good laugh around him.
Always has a smile on his face. 2-2 on the ground to Mercedes. Big hop, handles it well, and throws it over to first base for the 3rd out. Defense the story. All contact outs here in the 3rd inning, and mostly contact outs thus far. A strikeout swinging to Frankie Luska, the first batter of the inning, but that's been it against Malik Barrington so far here today.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. So our prediction was wrong. Jordan Carr is out for at least a few batters here in the fourth, and I wouldn't be totally surprised to see him retire everybody, or at least face everybody here in the fourth, depending on how it rolls. But a longer inning for him in the third, and the pitch count is going to be naturally up because of the strikeouts. I mean, he has 7 strikeouts through 3 innings as it is. First pitch to Collier Rutledge is off the plate outside. Rutledge, Shoemaker, and Lynch, your Zach Hart agency 3 men due up here in the fourth inning. Boy, does Carr work quickly. This one on the ground to Hodo. Cuts it off for the first out here in the fourth.
Hodo covered that hole very well. That wasn't an easy play to make. He made that look very easy. Tracked it very nicely. Quick throw to first. It's good stuff. Austin Shoemaker now for the Beavers.
Very solid middle of the infield here today for the Unicorns. Curial at shortstop. Hodo at second base. Malik Blaze, regular middle infielder as well, returner to the USPBL this year, is on the bench today. 0-1. Fastball low at 88. Now the 1-1. Chopped to the ground and it rolls foul. Shoemaker with a strikeout in the second. Everybody but Salea struck out in the second, and that's because Salea doubled. But Mercedes, Rutledge, and Shoemaker all went down on the swinging K. Jordan Carr, 67 pitches deep here in the fourth as that loops its way foul. Did go 3 innings complete, no hit baseball. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts on Thursday. And that was a game where the Unicorns took a combined no-hitter all the way into the 7th. Krenrich just giving up a single in the bottom of inning number 7 there.
Shoemaker trying to stay alive here and try to make something happen out of nothing.
And that was back when the USPBL was still playing 7 innings, obviously. Today is the first flip of the calendar, if you want to look at it like that. 1-2 high. Again, I know we mentioned it a few times already, but we'll mention it, throughout this week quite a bit, just for fans getting acclimated again. Back to 9-inning baseball, except on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays where there's double headers, at least. And there's not every Saturday, but there's a good number. 9 of them in total. 8 still left after the one last weekend.
There's some movement over there in the Utica Unicorns bullpen. Shanahan, this one's lifted.
Into left, Luska sees it bounce off the wall there, and it's going to be a double for Austin Shoemaker's second of the year.
Shanahan warming up over there in the Unicorn bullpen. Might get called upon here pretty quickly.
We saw him go the other day, fresh off an injury as well, was Greg Shanahan. To his ankle, just rolled it a bit after sliding on a play.
Keyshawn Lynch now for the Beavers. He reached base by an error last at bat. And he looks at a strike right down the middle.
Here's the 0-1 off the plate outside. we've seen certainly some sliders and curveballs and fastball counts here tonight for Jordan Carr. Not afraid to use his pitches for good reason. I mean, he's got a really good set of pitches.
And he's used them well. He's made mincemeat of this Beaver lineup, striking out 7 already in this game.
And he almost put in a little bit of an asterisk next to the third inning. I mean, it started with a leadoff error, a ground ball that Curiel normally handles with ease, just took a tough hop on him in the end, and the walk to Verdejo. Both of those plated by the double by Mercedes. But even before the double, after 2 straight outs, strikeout to McFarland and the pop out to LeBoy, another error. That was by the third baseman Takis, who you don't see very often make errors either. But theoretically, that inning was over.
Didn't really help his case, but he ended up getting out of it only with 2. It could have been a lot worse.
So keep in mind when we said, hey, he might be done, it wasn't because of performance, just based off pitch count and what we've seen so far. We haven't really seen a lot of USPBL pitchers go past 70. I mean, I think we've seen 80 once. But you also have to remember 7-inning games
7 innings,
again.
Right.
So that's an adjustment even for us thinking how all this kind of lines
right.
up. Because you're going to need more length unless, the rumors, if you want to call them that, are true that the rosters will expand at some point either this week, next week. We do know there's a tryout happening on Sunday and Monday. 2-2 is fouled off, and that's the traditional college showcase, which a lot of talent is expected to show up. Some guys that, quite frankly, probably are expected to make the team, just kind of seeing what they have and really seeing it on a first-hand basis instead of off of film. Maybe some guys that these managers and scouting directors have seen in person. Takis handles this one, looks the runner back to first, and that's the second out here in the 4th.
And that's the second ground out of the day for Lynch. 2 away with Roy Verdejo stepping in. Some fresh talent could be seen with those college camps that are coming here. Some tryouts, some much needed, more impressive arms coming. Could actually help the bullpens out and just lengthen these games.
And really the Wednesday edition is kind of maybe conducive to some of these guys who are on the bubble because, ever since they got here, they're being evaluated and looked at and double looked at in terms of what they show and the effort they give and certainly the intangibles, but how they're working on things, that doesn't go unnoticed at the pro level. But this week serves as a big week for a lot of these guys. 1-0 on the ground to Takis. 2 plays in a row for him as he bullets it just off the bag. Childress does a nice job to adjust. And a good job by Jordan Carr to strand the 1-out double by Austin Shoemaker here in the 4th. We want you to win $250 plus 4 tickets to the USPBL Championship game in September. You can text Chevy Detroit to 555-888. Again, that's Chevy Detroit to 555-888. You can visit ChevyDetroit.com/USPBL for all the official rules. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're going to be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
Jeremy and Nick back with you here on the USPBL Network. Top of the order, due up against Malik Barrington. A nice litmus test for him as he goes through the order for the second time, but so far so good. Just a hit by pitch and a single.
That's all you can really ask for, I guess. Making really quick work with this team and getting some quick outs, a couple one-pitch outs. Barrington proving himself here, really putting his name for that ace candidate spot.
A reminder, you can chime in with us on Facebook and YouTube in the chat section. Debbie and Laura have done that recently as well. Some people sharing who they root for here in the USPBL. Joe Takis says go Unicorns. Ruth Felix says great job, Malik Barrington thus far. And he can thank his defense in the third as well. That's where the no-hitter was broken up through 2 1/3, so not too long, but looked really good before that. You look at the defense twice. The double play after the hit by pitch in the second that ended the inning, and then the 9-4 seed thrown by Roy Verdejo to the second baseman, Nafi Mercedes, and he beats Curiel, who has decent speed, by at least a couple steps.
Right out of the gate, he was thinking too.
Yeah, when it was one of those plays where you thought, he probably has a decent shot to make it here. Sometimes you're catching the outfielder napping out there a bit. Here's the 2-0.
Verdejo said, no way. I catch you. I'm looking at you.
Barrington shakes off Shoemaker once. Here's the 2-1. Fastball off the plate, 3-1.
That one was close.
It sure was. Second start for Malik. His last 6 days ago versus very Unicorns team. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks to 4 strikeouts. So at least to this point, he has cleaned up the walks. That was 82 pitches. Right now at 45. And you got to think as well with the doubleheader, that's the next game for the Unicorns on Saturday. So not a disaster if they don't use all of their arms or, even a couple here today, because they just also played on Sunday and a quicker turnaround than normal. And, ooh, that looks like it bit Austin Shoemaker, maybe where the padding wasn't. Just the third base runner will reach against Malik Barrington here today. So his teammates looking to buy him a few seconds here.
It's always a tough spot, because you can't cover everything out there.
Did that hit him in the bad spot?
Upper thigh, it looks like.
And bounce, like you really don't see balls bounce, just maybe off the plate, possibly. But
possibly, yeah. Took a wicked googly off the edge of the plate and found the bad spot.
First pitch to Ryan Ray, tipped it into the glove, the fastball at 89. Ray struck out looking back in the first. Him and Luskar, the only 2 strikeout victims tonight for Malik Barrington. Meanwhile, Jordan Carr has 7. Still some action in that Unicorns bullpen. Looks like Shanahan has sat down, but it's believed that he may come into the game for Carr. Looks like Sereno is just gently tossing down there.
Ray fans and misses on that one. Now the count goes to 1-2. On deck for the Unicorns is the hot bat, Galassi. If Ray gets on, this could be trouble for the Beavers.
Yeah, the bigger news at this point for Drew is that he got out. That was back in the first inning, a ground ball to Mercedes for the third out of the first. A guy that's batting .409 through 22 at-bats and slugging .902. Here's the 1-2. Getting fouled off.
Those are some big numbers. Certainly something to be scared about if you're a pitcher.
Malik Barrington has been burying right-handed batters so far this year. After a couple outs to begin this game, he was sending them down in an 0 for 19 clip. Curiel, the first hit of the year as a righty against him back in the third, as Ryan Ray fans for the second time here today for the first out in the fourth. Here's Drew Galassi now. I told you the ground ball back in the first. Some decent at-bats here today for Unicorns hitters in terms of seeing pitches, but there's also been some really quick at-bats, which is collected to this very tidy pitch count thus far. You'd love a double play here to button that up even further in the fourth.
Galassi with a 1-0 count on him. Got a man on first.
So Shanahan sat down, but he's back up and throwing now. He was warming first when Jordan Carr got into some troubles back in the sixth. But Carr able to come back out for a fourth inning of work, which I'm sure Jim Essien appreciates, given the 9 innings that we have expanded to here tonight. Here's the 2-0. 88-mile-an-hour fastball off the plate outside. Quickly 3-0 to Galassi now.
Certainly these pitchers are now going to be tasked with more strenuous at-bats and more innings, since the games are now going to be a little bit longer than usual. They're going to require a lot more out of them.
And you're going to see that guy, go the sixth inning. When in reality, you can have 5 good innings and make your way out and be just fine as a manager and a pitcher in a bullpen. Golf to right, that's going to stay in front of LeBoy and sink down. Just like that, there's runners on first and second with just 1 out here in the fourth. The second hit against Barrington tonight.
Galassi still staying hot. Then I'll bring up Noah Childress with 2 men on and a runner in scoring position. It's a possibility of their first run of the game.
He's driven in 8 of them so far this year, mostly with that home run swing. High 1-0. Unicorns have hit 7 bombs so far this year. Best slugging percentage in the league in total as well. All via doubles and triples. Or all via doubles and homers. We have not seen a triple in the USPBL this year. It's kind of hard to do because there's no true gaps across the outfield.
The only one I would imagine is that right center gap where the center field wall meets the right field wall, just that little alleyway where they meet, and that's about it. Either that or even in the right field corner. 1 and 2.
If you have some funky bounce and it ranges well into foul territory down the third or first base line, kind of in that little cove where the dugout fence stretches out all the way to the bullpens. That's going to take some luck.
Yeah.
1-2 outside with the slider there. 2-2 on Childress. So a 2-seam, a 4-seam, a changeup, a slider, and a curveball for Malik Barrington. Very similar to the arsenal of Jordan Carr as well. The 2-2 tipped it back into the glove for strike 3.
Both getting outs different ways, though. Jordan Carr working more with his strikeouts and doing the work himself. And Malik Barrington using his defense, which is what they needed to do today. And what they're doing so far has been working for them. They're building that bridge, building the fortress, trying to keep the Unicorns from charging the gate.
2 strikeouts for Barrington in the first, 2 in the fourth as well. Other than that, all contact, as Nick spoke to. First pitch slider, lollipops in for strike 1. And that's something that both of these pitchers have done. They've not been afraid to throw the first pitch curve, the first pitch slider, and they've done it with some success as well.
As a batter, you're always taught first pitch fastball. This one's popped up to center field.
Saleya for the third out. Again, Malik Barrington able to reel things in. First time we've seen more than 1 base runner in an inning. He had 1 in the second, had 1 in the third, and 2 here in the fourth, but nothing becomes of that fly ball from Ari Sakopoulos here in the fourth. Time to send it to Chelsea Estes now.
Home, and they're going to pretend they hit a home run, and they're going to race around the bases. Whoever gets home first and tags my hand is my winner. You guys ready? All right, let's take our marks. Get set. Go! All right, got some good friendly brother competition. Looks like Quinn, ooh, touch first. It's getting a little close. Come on, Grayson. Quinn. All right, you guys, fans, they're getting a little tired. I'm getting tired just watching you guys. Come on. Let's see who's going to tag my hand first. I don't know. It's going to be big brother or little brother. Let's tag my hand. Oh, man. Big brother, 1. Nice job. Give me a fist bump, too. You did it.
Good stuff there. Chelsea Estes down on the field here today with your kids race around the bases in the fourth. We head to the fifth as we have a new pitcher as well, Greg Shanahan, here for the Utica Unicorns.
We certainly have a nice old school playlist tonight for the oldies night.
Sure do.
A couple throwbacks for some grandmas and grandpas out there.
Come on, you were jamming to a few pregame as well.
Not going to lie, I was bopping to them. That was awesome. I'm an old soul, man.
Jordan Ngona on Facebook comments, we have a family of 4 and we each have our own teams. That's cool. What are the members of that family and which teams do they represent, Jordan? Joyce Orr says go Malik. Shane Solomon says go Beavers. We welcome everybody tuning in here tonight. Jeremy Otto alongside Nick Matthews to bring in the call from Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Greg Shanahan takes over for Jordan Carr. So you really kind of just throw out the third because it started with an error and it could have ended with a ground ball to third base with runners on first and second. It extended the inning for the RBI double for Nafi Mercedes. It was a pretty good start for Jordan Carr, who showed some really good stuff again, 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, like you said, take away that third inning. He had a really decent start out on the mound today, and you can't be too mad as a manager or if you are Jordan Carr, because he didn't do too bad otherwise. A lot of strikeouts, producing for his team. Pitch count was a little high, but that comes with the strikeouts, obviously, and some errors and unintentional plays.
Three, 4, 5 coming up for this Beavers squad. It's Travis McFarland, Christian LeBoy, and Dallas Binder. McFarland had a single back in the first and struck out in the third.
Shanahan ready to go to work. Like you said, he's going to be facing the 3-4-5 hitters, the meat of the lineup.
Just 2 innings of work so far for Greg Shanahan. He's given up 5 runs, 6 walks to 1 strikeout. So certainly some work to be done, but coming back from injury. Knew he couldn't really stretch out too far in his second outing. And only faced a few batters in his first outing of the year.
McFarland with a 1-1 count.
Pops him up. This one to the short outfield, Ryan Ray coming in for the first out.
Looked like he just missed that one. I'll bring up Christian LeBoy, the 4 hitter. He had a nice shot in his last at bat, but unfortunately it was right to the outfield.
So Shanahan with a fastball that can reach up to 93. Also features a slider and a changeup as the fastball reigns in at 90 high. Fastball at 89 outside, so Jordan Ngona chimes back in again. He says, me, the Beavers, the son, the Mammoths, his daughter, the Unicorns, and his wife, the Diamond Hoppers. A split, divided house, 4 ways. How about that?
Wow. You love to see that, though. It's good friendly competition.
The gear everywhere in that house, huh? Different colors. Here's the 3-0. Pulled in for strike 1. Frank Herrick says, love to check out a game sometime. Looks like a really family fun outing. Sure is. There's a lot of side entertainment, if you want to call it that as well, that you can see. A lot of promotions that happen. That one rifled past the glove of Aaron Takis into short left field.
Also put a man on for Dallas Binder, who's stepping in.
That went off the bat at 101 for Christian LeBoy. That's a good sign.
For sure. Absolutely. The Beavers really need to get something going here to add to their lead if they want to have a couple more insurance runs. Binder reaching on an error in his last at bat.
Righty on righty matchup here as Shanahan delivers outside. The 1-0. Pulled back in for strike 1. The fastball at 89. Nafi Mercedes on deck. He's delivered the game's only 2 runs. Back in the 3rd inning off his double.
And a pair of RBIs to go with it. His first 2 as a Beaver. Like we said earlier, he came from the Hoppers. And now he's here for the Beavers to have and to hold. Dallas Binder with a 2-1 hitters count.
The pitch. Slider in for strike 2.
Greg Shanahan and his defense would like to get a nice quick double play to get out of the inning.
Another slider. 2 pretty good ones from Greg Shanahan. That in for strike 3 in the second out here in the 5th. And combined 8 Ks for this Beavers offense here today.
That works too.
Here's Nafi Mercedes. Wearing number 1 in a Beavers uniform. Was wearing number 2 for the Hoppers.
He'll look at one just outside.
Mercedes also struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Here's the 1-0. Fly ball to left field. Sounds like it might even broke his bat. Luska lurking on the warning track, and he is able to pick up the third out here in the 5th inning. Just missed that one. Probably if he didn't break his bat, that might have snuck out of here.
Yeah. That could have been another 2 runs for the Beavers.
Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
Piloting a hot air balloon is my wife's passion, and she couldn't have a better wingman than my Chevy Equinox. Its stylish design rises above the rest, and with its 4G LTE Wi-Fi plus great gas mileage, Equinox keeps us connected mile after mile. With my Equinox, the sky isn't the limit.
Lease a 2021 Equinox LT for just $189 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At FSBCares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBCares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Jeremy and Nick back with you here from Jimmy John's Field. The fans enjoying a little t-shirt toss here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Malik Barrington enjoying what's been a pretty good outing in a snappy fashion through 4 innings as well.
Can't complain. He's got a couple, only a fair amount of hits. 4 Ks. Only a few base runners allowed so far. Great outing for him.
So just single base runners before the 4th inning. Hit by pitch in the 2nd. A single back in the 3rd as well. And then the walk by Frankie Luskin. The single by Drew Galassi allowed the pair of runners to reach in the 4th. That was with 1 out. And then he struck out Noah Childress and got Sakopoulos to pop out to the center fielder Eric Salea.
He'll face Tackett here to start off the inning.
Aaron looks at strike 1, still trying to get back into hitting shape after sitting for a couple weeks with that hamstring pull. 4 of 9 coming into today. Did hit into a double play back in the 2nd. His return was Sunday. 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. 0 for 2, a bigger pardon, actually. But either way, a welcome addition back to this lineup. A little chopper over the mound. This is a tough play for everybody. And Lynch, realizing that he had to hurry on that play, will not have a play.
Tackett will reach on a pressure point in the infield.
They did rule it an error, so that's the 3rd combined error here in the 5th. A tough error, but probably one you have to rule. Would have been a close play over at first if he handled it cleanly, for sure.
I also had some height on that bounce, too.
Sure did. Which makes the play even tougher because as you look at it kind of spin in midair and go slowly down back to planet Earth.
As a player, you're like, hurry up, hurry up. It's got places to be. Now Finney stepping in for the Unicorns.
87-mile-an-hour fastball from Barrington in for strike 1. There is some action now in the Beavers pen. Looks like Cuevas down there. Ed Cuevas. Him, Donovan, Gidley, and Cole Stanton likely the available arms here today. Really doubt you'd see A.J. Coleman. I'm sure we'll see him starting a game later this week.
If I'm not mistaken, Cuevas hasn't let up a single run so far. Whereas ERA is still 0.
He's looked good. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Nice slider for Malik Barrington. His 5th K of the night. Here comes Donovan Curiel now. He had a single back in the 3rd inning, then was rifled down trying to take second base.
by Roy Verdejo with a cannon of an arm in left field.
He made it look like a routine play at second, didn't he?
Yeah, he made mincemeat of Curiel. And Curiel was busting out of the box, too.
That one in for strike one. John Hodo, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the fifth. It was a ground down. That was to the second base side back in the third. Oh, 1. Slider in for strike two. Kind of hard to differentiate between the slider and the curveball for Malik Barrington.
Both very similar pitches. One's just a little bit more over top, and the slider just comes right horizontally.
Now the 0-2. Right in the kitchen of Curiel.
Just wanted to test his reflexes just a little bit.
He proved that they were just okay, right?
Right.
Right on target.
Who needs to go to the doctors? Have a quick 80-mile-an-hour fastball right at your face.
He's already got that uniform dirty anyway. Here's the 1-2. Just missed. One of the best fastballs, if not the best. Here it's sent in at 91 for Barrington. That's right where he's topped out this season coming into play as well. On average, around 89 on either his four-seam or two-seam. Short lead for Takis over at first with one out here in the fifth as Curiel chases that one. And with the occupied base, he is the second out here in the fifth.
That'll bring up John Hodo for the Unicorns. Let's 2 away here.
Hodo has had a rough start at the plate, which is kind of surprising to see because this is a guy who hit .333 last year in a Unicorns uniform. Was not here the whole year, but did get in a solid 35-40 at-bats for Jim Essien.
Still have to take into consideration that it is early. He's got time to warm up. Summer's going to warm up. He might too.
When you talk about that, certainly we saw it was a below average, I guess. I mean, probably not in terms of what it's been historically in Michigan, but a below average first week in that the whole spring training week and the week before that, I think, was like 90 degrees each day and scorching.
Right, that's Michigan for you.
And then what, it dipped down to 55 degrees or something crazy on opening day?
Just wait 5 minutes. I'll change degrees.
And then it certainly did the next day and the next day, and then by week 2, we were back right to the heat again. Get a bit of a break here tonight and yesterday in the area. 1-1 is fouled off, but again, we read you the temperatures. 85 tomorrow, a chance of thunderstorms because of the,
low
pressure in the area. There you go.
Yeah, low pressure. There it is. Woo.
You'd pull it on at some point?
Yeah.
You want to explain why?
Oh, yeah, sure. Some oceanography for you. Still in college, taking that summer course. Got to use it at some point.
Now, did you do the homework before the game or is it after the game?
Oh, that's going to be after the game. This is too exciting.
Here's the 1-2. Poured in another fastball. Maybe we're seeing Barrington empty the tank a bit here. 2 of his best fastballs here in the fifth. And a pitch count of 78, right around where he topped out at last game. 82, to be exact, was the number he reached. Now the 1-2. Chopped him foul.
Hodo trying to stay alive for the Unicorns. He's got 2 on him, 2 outs. Try to get something going here in the bottom of the 5th inning here at Jimmy John's Field.
Looks like Cuevas is warm. He has stopped consistently tossing. Might also realize that if this final strike is recorded, he probably won't come on until the 6th inning at this point.
That one just missed outside.
And Maybe Barrington trying to overthrow a bit there.
His defense has been working for him. All he has to do is just get it over the plate and let the defense work. And he can have a nice 5 innings.
2-2 looped where nobody is. Boy, Mercedes getting over at the last second with that runner coming in front of him and can't get to it.
Hodo really testing the range abilities of Nafi. Beating him out with speed. Nice infield single, and here comes the manager of the Beavers. Nice mound visit.
It's like A.J. Coleman out there, yep. We've seen that a couple times. Coleman coming out for Ed Campanella, one of the veteran pitchers on this staff. Returner from last year as well. Sure, we'll see A.J. at some point later this week. He's the sure bet in terms of a starting pitcher we'll see. For a guy like Barrington or even the other starter on the other side, and Jordan Carr, kind of unsure where their full-time role will be, still figuring out. Both have thrown in the pen and started a few games. This is exactly what you didn't want to see here in the fifth. The lineup turning over to the top in Frankie Luska. Wow. Beeping right as Luska looked at strike one from the outside of the stadium there. I don't think he tunes it out, but the crowd was pretty hushed at that moment too.
Right. We're also by a highway, so that doesn't help too. Some fast cars zipping by.
And the stadium a bit more open maybe than other ones. I mean, the stands obviously don't reach all the way around and up.
Right.
Like some other stadiums do right next to the highway. This one dribbled down and foul. So Barrington testing the levels of his pitch count here. This might be his last batter. It's already at 83.
This is a good chance as any for the Unicorns with a runner in scoring position. Trying to minimize this Beaver lead. And possibly with one swing in the bat could take it.
On the ground and off the glove of Keyshawn Lynch. It's going to score a run easily here. Aaron Takis around the third base bag as it floats freely. And finally, Salea is able to get to it. But just like that, the lead is cut in half. It's 2-1 in the fifth.
Luska, one of those notable players we mentioned in the beginning of the game, getting the first run here for the Unicorns in the bottom of the fifth.
The right fielder, number 6, Ryan Ray.
So here's Ryan Ray, and Cuevas again will start throwing with a bit more urgency. And he gives a thumb up to say he's ready. Just haven't been very good at predicting when guys are coming out today. Maybe this is the last batter.
Maybe
that's the last time I'll say it. Strike one to Ryan Ray. He's 0 for 2 today. Strikeout looking back in the first and a strikeout swinging in the fourth. Barrington has struck out 2 more batters in the fifth, 6 in total.
Stanton also with Cuevas over there in the bullpen. He's warming up his arm too.
Cole Stanton, another exciting arm for the Unicorn squad. Here's the 0-2. Up high. Back-to-back sliders delivered by Malik Barrington.
Ryan Ray still looking for his first hit. Could get it right here with an RBI.
Another 1-2. Good stop by Shoemaker. Important stop to keep that tying run standing at third. And John Hodo, he reached with 2 outs in the fifth via the single. It was a leadoff error by the shortstop Keyshawn Lynch, which allowed Takis to reach. The 2-2. High, another slider at 79.
There's some framework there from Shoemaker. He really wanted to paint a pretty picture for the umpire.
Didn't quite buy it there. Ball 3.
Runners will be on the move with this payoff pitch.
Luska getting a big secondary jumping lead here. The pitch in the dirt. That's a trio of strikeouts for Ryan Ray here today, and a nice end to the outing. You'd think for Malik Barrington. He strikes out 7 as well, matches the total with Jordan Carr. Both those arms pretty impressive in stretches here tonight.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, where Jeremy Otto, and Nick Matthews are here in Utica, Michigan. We have a contest between the Utica Unicorns and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Birmingham is up 2-1 over the Unicorns. Greg Shanahan taking the bump again for the Unicorns.
Shanahan back in the 5th. Had a pop out, a single, a strikeout, and a line out. Good to see that from a guy trying to build himself back up from injury as well.
He'll face Salea, Rutledge, and Shoemaker this inning.
Number 12, Elijah Salaya.
7, 8, 9. Order for this Beavers team.
Salaya had a double back in the 3rd.
Fastball outside, 1-0. That was the only blemish against Jordan Carr in that inning. He struck out the other 3 he faced. Got the off-the-cuff reaction from Shane McCadding, the pitching coordinator here at the USPBL, about Jordan Carr's start. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. The fastball at 90. He said looked very composed. I would agree with that. He's a competitor, likes the way he's around the plate with all his pitchers, and shows that has a really good idea of how he wants to go at guys. 2-1, swing and a miss, fastball at 89. Certainly that's not something that comes natural, especially for guys transitioning from college to pro right away. It's a different game in a lot of ways. You're on your own.
You are on your own, right. You're on your own.
And the moment somebody nags on you is probably the moment you get cut at that point.
As tough as it sounds, it's true.
Not to say that, especially on the pitching side, the coaches won't come to you with tweaks. They always do, and they look to improve guys mightily with the DVS system. But you know, it depends on the managers. Some are a bit more hands-off and say, hey, you know, unless you come to me, I'm not necessarily going to come to you and make tweaks. Others will sit around the cages and, you know, make subtle comments or try to make slight tweaks to your swing. Different styles for different managers, certainly. And that's the case for, I guess, every coach across sports. Good slider here today from Greg Shanahan. Best we've seen in a while from him. Allowed him to have some good success here today. Tries another at the top of the zone with 1 out and 1 strike here in the 6th.
You can see it very well from up here. Just the movement is just going from left to right, and it's got great rotation on it too.
2-1 away. The fastball velocity hasn't exactly been where it's been historically. Again, we told you he's topped out at 93. On average this year, depending on if it's a 4-seam or a 2-seam, around 91, 92. 3-1, fastball high, walked him.
Shoemaker in his last at bat had a double. Good extra base hitting, and now he's got a runner on first to work with. He's 1 for 2 today. Shanahan ready to deliver.
High, the fastball at 88.
Shoemaker's been a wall for the Beavers today on defense. That's what they needed out of him.
2 good veteran catchers on both sides, both returners and Finney and Shoemaker. Veteran in the sense that they're here their second year. That's about as much as you can say here in the USPBL.
Right.
A max 2.5 years really is the mark for a lot of these guys. And even then, a lot won't make it to that point. They've either moved on or
got signed or cut.
Yep. Here's the 2-1. Low and away. Another fastball at 89. Looks like Keon Taylor, the Submariner, is warming now for the Unicorns. He might take the 7th. They'd love to get 2 complete innings from Shanahan here. 3-1, fastball that's going to call him back. And for a guy that probably knows that strike zone pretty well tonight, Shoemaker with a maybe different a silent idea. Protest.
Yeah, different idea. He thought it was ball 4. Started walking down the first base line.
Full count delivery, popped him up. Might reach its way into the stands. It will do just that. To our right, and comes back to some of the fans in the lower seats here today. And a nice round of applause for somebody down there. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but I saw some kids down there munching on some popcorn, and we're jumping up and down for them.
The best is when you try to catch it in the popcorn or the beer. Most of the time it doesn't work out well for you. But if you do,
hey, that's a free baseball on your popcorn.
catch of the lifetime, I guess. 3-2, another good spoil. One of the best fastballs tonight from Shanahan, velocity-wise at 90.
Count goes to full on Shoemaker.
Keyshawn Lynch, your Zach Hart agency man on deck, the top of the order here in the 6th inning. Ready on lefty, the pitch. Low and in. Good at bat from Austin Shoemaker.
That'll put 2 on for the top of the order. Keyshawn Lynch due up.
The shortstop, number 5, Keyshawn Lynch.
Finney and Shanahan exchanging some laughs. Talking about the situation, what's going on. They're probably discussing what they want to do, where they want to turn it, or where they want the ball to be placed in the strike zone, or what pitches to be thrown.
1 down in the 6th inning. Boy, would Shanahan love a double play here. First pitch slider high, 1-0. So Shanahan, Krenrich, Taylor, the 3 available arms at least here today. Not sure if Colton Williams is able to throw. He is again on the lineup card here tonight, but even when he's been out the last couple outings, he's still been listed there. So that's a TBA. You also have Austin Dakar, but again, a guy that's going to start at some point this week. And that's all the pitchers. And you see why our discussion earlier of expanding to 9 innings, and again, if you're just tuning in, yes, today is a 9-inning contest for the first time this year, at least in regulation, quote-unquote.
More available arms are going to be needed.
1-2 off the plate outside, the slider.
Hoping to see some sturdy and also stamina-induced arms.
And it doesn't have to be a whole ton. I mean, it could be 1. That could make a big difference. 2-2 is fouled off. And ultimately, it doesn't really have to be a starter. I mean, it can be a guy who can be a spot to starter if you're throwing in one of those double plays or double dips, double headers. There's 9 of them scheduled on Saturdays this year, and Utica is participating in 1 this week.
All they need are just some good innings.
So that's a game tonight. They also had a game Sunday, which you have to take into consideration, and 2 games on Saturday, and that's it for them this week. 2-2 is fouled off. So it really is a fine line because you don't want too many arms and you don't want too many bats because ultimately you want to work on the arms, and you could say it's limited innings, but at the same time, you know, you can get them in a league like this where it's not all about winning because a guy can go 5-6 solid, and then you bring the next line in unless he's really throwing a good game in terms of history on the marks. But
it's all about balancing the repetitions. Getting these people time, getting these players the ability to show what they got in front of scouts, in front of the fans, in front of their families.
And that's another good point as well. Here's the 3-2 again to Lynch. Another slider fouled off. Sometimes a guy's outing, if there is a scout in attendance, maybe he will be put out there for another inning, whether that's out of the pen or as a starter, just so they can get an additional look. As Taylor continues to warm, here's the 3-2 away, and now the pond is full of ducks here in the 6th. Back-to-back walks for Shanahan after he had a pretty good start to this game, retiring for the first 5 that he faced. And another visit from another pitcher. It's Dakar who tries to settle his fellow veteran down here. Cracks a smile.
So he's got bases loaded with 1 out. He's facing Roy Verdejo. Verdejo reached on a walk already this game. This could be trouble for the Unicorns. This could open the floodgate, or the dam, if you will, for the Beavers.
And Dakar, 3 starts for him thus far. 11 innings used. 6 walks to 14 strikeouts.
Verdejo is showing he also has some power in his bat. He's hit 2 home runs. This could be a possibility of a grand slam, or even if he just wants to play it safe and get some small ball, drive in a couple more runs for his ball club.
Chases the fastball high at 88. The eyes lit up there for Verdejo.
Corners are playing in. That one's fouled back. infield, middle infield's playing back to try to turn 2 to get out of the inning. Corners are thinking going home first and then go to first for a possible double play.
Travis McFarland, your Zach Hart agency man on deck. Here's the 0-2. Another slider just pokes its way over the screen. And that kind of ball is probably our only opportunity for a ball ever here in the press box. That low hanger that just makes its way over the backstop, because we're perched fairly low for baseball standards in terms of press box. Lucky to be this on top of the action. 0-2 is a slider outside. 1-2 on Verdejo now.
It's got to have enough backspin, too, to make it to us.
And for it to really make it through this window, very, very slim. But as we say that, one will probably come in. Swing and a miss. Big-time strikeout by Shanahan. Dusts him off with the fastball at 87 for strike 3. His second strikeout this inning and third of the contest. And the Beavers have now struck out 9 combined times in this one. They added some walks to the fold here today, which is something they've struggled to do. Walk-to-strikeout ratio is pretty divided to begin this season. They came in at 19 walks, 65 Ks. It's a walk rate of 9.5, but a strikeout rate of 32. And obviously that's not going to last. I mean, it's a big number
right.
that's swayed, but things will even out.
McFarland has a good chance to get on base here. He's had an on-base percentage of .364, so there's a decent chance he might be able to drive in some more runs for the Beavers.
Strikeouts certainly up in general. I mean, the league walk rate is 11, but the league K rate is 23. So that just tells you that what they're doing isn't necessarily out of the realm of what other teams are showing so far as well. And strikeouts probably will be up in general, depending on what sort of hitters are here because of the good pitching that this league has always presented. It is a fairly hitter-friendly ballpark, though. 3-0 is high. He walked in what is a adding cushion run for the Beavers. Rutledge crosses home plate to make it 3-1.
Like you said, it is a very hitter-friendly ballpark with a obscure, shallower left field than right field. 315 in left, 320 in right, and then 395 in center.
Keon Taylor going to come in to relieve Greg Shanahan in the middle of this 6th inning. He got the second out via the strikeout, throws 51 pitches here tonight. And the Submariner will look to finish things off, as I believe Miguel Cirino will get up and ready as well. Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Another productive inning thus far for the Beavers has come mostly via the base on balls, 4 of them to be exact here in the 6th. They have plated a runner in Collier Rutledge to make it 3-1. A lead that makes them feel a bit more comfortable, and they could potentially add that. Add to that here in the 6th, still with the bases juiced and 2 outs in the middle of their order up with a new pitcher on, Keon Taylor, as well for the Unicorns.
He'll face their 4-hitter, Christian LeBoy, who's 1 for 2 today. He's reached base both times on a single and a hit by pitch.
Taylor slides in strike 1. 7th man to bat here in the 6th. That's the same number they sent in the 3rd. And in terms of the way the runs have been scored, has the same feel. You know, a couple errors mixed into the fold there. It was a good, sure double for Nafi Mercedes. There was nothing cheap about it down the third base line to drive in the game's first 2 runs. But other than that, Unicorns may be a little flustered by how the runs have been scored here today. How about that? In and out for Keon Taylor as he uses 3 pitches to strike out Christian LeBoy in the 6th.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the 9th and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the 9th, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Ed Cuevas now on the mound to replace Malik Barrington. Barrington striking out 3 more in the 5th to bring his strikeout total to 7. He saw at least 1 base runner in every inning but the first, where he got them 1, 2, 3. Strikeout, strikeout, ground out. In the 2nd, it was a 1-out hit by pitch and then the double play to get Aaron Takis. The 3rd, 1-out single trying to be stretched to a double by Curiel. Really great job by Ray Verdejo in left. Rifled it to Nafi Mercedes at second base to record the 2nd out, and then he got the very next batter. 4th inning started with a walk, then the strikeout to Ryan Ray and the single to Galassi. And the 5th is where we saw the first run for this Unicorn squad. It was off a leadoff error to Takis. The strikeout to Finney and Curiel, and then the single by Hodo and the RBI single after that by Frankie Luska. And the strikeout to Ryan Ray in the outing was over for Malik Barrington. But certainly some good things to write home about here today for both of these starting pitchers.
It's time for a lifetime orthodontics pitching change. Now it's the Beavers number 24, Edgar Cuevas.
Now Cuevas will come on in relief here in the 6th inning. So something to keep an eye on. Our first pitch today was at 7:07, roughly. It is a 2.5-hour time limit, even though we are scheduled to play 9 innings here today. The chance that we play 9 is very, very, very slim. Maybe outright impossible at this point, according to the time. But we've seen crazier things, maybe. That would mean that we'd probably have to see all 1, 2, 3 innings going forward here. As Galassi looks at ball 1 outside. But the important thing to remember is, so we've hit the 2-hour mark, technically, just a couple minutes past. You can start a new inning, theoretically, at 2:29 on the time limit. So you could see what we're looking at is probably the 7th complete. is the best guess, and that's right where we were at before, but
that's probably the best case scenario.
And still with the limiting pitching here today, it just makes sense. 2-1 to Drew Glossy, and that 2.5-hour time limit is not something new per se to the USPBL. The 7 innings was new last year because of COVID-19 and the limits on rosters and everything that went into it. Having trouble getting guys here in general just because travel was restricted.
Travel was restricted. People trying to stay safe, stay healthy.
And now as we turn the page over almost a full year.
Almost, yep.
Things are kind of trending right backwards. I think we had the biggest post-pandemic sporting crowd last night at the Dodgers game as this one popped up on the third baseline as Dallas Binder picks up the first out here in the 6th inning. So that's fun to see. 50,000 strong at Dodger Stadium.
It's always a good sign to see that.
And there will be more, for sure. And you got to remember, a lot of these stadiums are just starting to open up. You know, some are in the middle of their first homestands. I mean, Comerica Park just had their first full capacity allowed homestand in the last go-around. Tigers on the road, at least for now, as Childress looks at a ball high.
Them finishing up the series in KC.
It was a day game. What was the final on that one? Looks like 6-5 Tigers.
6-5, all right. So they went for the sweep, yeah.
Here's the 1-0. Outside 2-0.
It's actually very important against a divisional rival.
Battling for that third spot right now in the Central Division. Here's the 2-0. In for strike one. It looked like Kansas City was going to be the team to beat there for a while. At least hang around in the standings.
The White Sox showing their dominance in the Central right now.
Not a surprise. A lot of talent there. 2-1 inside. Talk about a team waiting out their time and moving up some of the prospects and making some good acquisitions and signings. They're it right now.
It's their time. Like it to be our time, but we still got a couple more years to go, I think.
Swing and a miss by Childress. Fills the count at 3-2. An interesting, intriguing matchup tomorrow for the Detroit area for a number of reasons. Number one, Shohei Ohtani goes for the Angels, but Matt Manning will also make his big league debut for the Tigers, one of their better pitching prospects. Little flare down the first baseline and into the glove of Travis McFarland for the second out. And you talk about the future, it's kind of here.
Future is here.
Mize, Skubal, and Manning literally all going back-to-back-to-back days.
Not to mention some minor league prospects. Spencer Torkelson, still in West Michigan. I don't think he's going to stay there very long.
He just got bumped.
He just got bumped at Erie? All right.
I think last night was his and Dylan Dingler's first games up there.
All right. You love to hear it. He's got a solid bat, and the Tigers really need him.
First pitch fastball at 88, pumped back to the screen.
But I'm loving to see what the Tigers are doing. They're finding new ways to score runs, and it's very refreshing because you're not just seeing one guy dominating the entire lineup. You're seeing young guys producing, and it's a fresh breath of air.
0-1 fouled off. Meanwhile, Cuevas has worked the first 2 outs here in the 6th inning. That's now 6 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. Does have 4 walks to 8 strikeouts. (0-2) up and in.
Tsakopoulos reaching base one time after getting hit. He's got a home run already on the season. That's more than most in this league.
1 of 7 for this Unicorns team. Hit by a pitch back in the second, popped out in the fourth. 3 through 4 today for Jim Essien have been a bit more quiet than we're used to seeing. 1-2 is away. And it won't be the best game in terms of these Beavers. I mean, the 5 home run game in terms of offense is the best game we've seen so far from them. It ties the USPBL record for home runs in a game by a single team. But you get a win, you get some walks, you manufacture a few runs.
Play some small ball.
Gives you some confidence. This one popped up in the air. Cuevas works a snappy 6th inning, 17 pitches. He goes 1, 2, 3 here on the USPBL network.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better. With free checking and fraud protection services, 166.7% is possible.
166.7.
This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Hello. Lovely home, by the way, but it looks like you could use some new flooring.
Now at the Carpet Guys, you get 4 years interest-free financing. Plus, we're taking extra precautions to ensure the safety of our customers.
Be wise and call the Carpet Guys.
Jeremy and Nick back with you here on the USPBL network as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Keon Taylor on for his first full inning of work. Boy, did he do a good job of navigating out of the 6th inning. 1 run already walked in after 4 straight walks in that frame. He took 3 pitches to strike out the 4th place hitter and make it look easy. And certainly that's what a guy like this can do, a change of pace with that submarine motion.
Can definitely throw some batters off. Change up the mix a little bit after seeing a overhand pitcher. Give it a different look, and it can throw them off their game.
And I guess you can say in the old days of Major League Baseball, which isn't that old, I guess, because you think old days and you think guys going 9 innings and getting 3 inning saves
yeah.
as well on the flip side of the coin. But a guy like Keon Taylor could conceivably come in for 1 batter in that situation, and that's it. But with the new rules, the 3 batter minimum, not really a thing anymore. So Keon Taylor, if he's going to make it to the next level, has to show that he's more than that. I think so far, so good for this right-hander coming from the bottom. 7 1/3 innings in total pitch for him already. Hodo scoops it up. Targets first for the first out here in the 7th. 7 1/3, just 1 run giving up. It was earned. 1 walk to 5 strikeouts.
Matthew Mercedes for the Beavers now stepping in. He has 2 RBIs today in his first game as a Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver.
And certainly the command and control for a guy like this is something you look at right away as well.
For such a funky pitching style, yeah. Definitely has some impressive control and velocity with that weird pitching style.
Nobody currently warming in the pen for the Unicorns here. This is spiked outside. And you'd think, if we're going to go hard on the 2.5-hour rule, again, we had a first pitch at 7:07. This would be the last inning, given that the Unicorns are down. This is the top of the 7th inning. 1-1, popped him up. Curial calling off everybody, as the shortstop should do for the second out here in the 7th.
Shortstop and the catcher commanding the infield. Good play by Curiel. Way to take charge, way to communicate with his players. That's the big thing. No matter where you are on the field, you want to be able to communicate with your players to avoid, one, an error, and to avoid being collided with each other.
First pitch fastball for strike 1. Salea today had a double back in the 2nd, has struck out twice since, back in the 3rd and the 6th innings. 0-1, slider off the plate inside at 72. So 3 up and 3 down for Keon Taylor. He took over for Shanahan, who took over for Jordan Carr. Now the 1-1. That tough slider looking like it's going to hit you probably at all costs. That one nearly does, but zings in at the last second for ball 2. Broke his bats for the 3rd out. 1-2-3 breeze of an inning for Keon Taylor here, as Aaron Takis records the 3rd out of the top of the 7th, and you'd think last chance feed the Unicorns unless this inning goes by really quickly. But time for your 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Genesis Credit Union here today, and time to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You're on the USPBL network as well. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. There you go, your Genesis Credit Union 7th inning stretch here today on the USPBL network.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Ed Cuevas back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Boy, just the outing from Cuevas and Taylor and the 6 kind of blend together. They felt very similar, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Very similar. Very quick outs by both pitchers. And here we go to the bottom of the 7th.
For Cuevas, it was his first inning of work after he took over for Malik Barrington in inning number 6. Pop out, pop out, pop out. Third base, first base, and to left field, respectively. For Taylor, ground out, pop out. His 4th batter that he faced after he came in the 5th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Aaron Takis, Jordan Finney, Donovan Curiel, your Zach Hart agency 3-men due up as Takis takes a hard rip at the fastball up top. He reached on an error back in the 5th inning and scored. That's the only run registered so far by the Unicorns tonight. And it hit him. Ouch. Probably stretches out that hammy in the process too. Not what you want to see, but he's going to get right back up and trot down to first base. So a rough start to this year for Aaron Takis in a number of ways.
Jordan Finney, the man, now for the Unicorns. And they're going to get a pinch runner for Aaron Takis.
I think that's a good decision. Don't want to stretch the limits too much, especially just after coming back only in his 2nd game back from injury today.
Blaze, the pinch runner over there at first.
Now hitting for the Unicorns, number 20, Marquise Irving.
And Marcus Irving will also get a pinch hit at bat here. As Nick mentioned. Takes over for the spot of Finney, who was previously 0 for 2, strikeout and a lineout. Fastball at 87 in for strike one. Some more action in the Unicorns pen. It's Brandon Krenrich, and we believe that's the last available arm really today for the Unicorns. 0-1, swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 on Marcus Irving here. Really hard to tell. Donovan Curiel, your Zach Hart agency man on deck.
Malik Blaze giving a good look over there.
Swing and a miss. First out of the 7th inning.
With one out, Donovan Curiel stepping in with Malik Blaze on first.
So certainly some speed in Malik Blaze over there. But need to advance him a bit to think about a run here. And you're still down 2, so you're not going to push it. And run yourself into the 2nd or 3rd out, potentially, of this inning. And this time limit is going to go down to the nitty-gritty here in the 7th. It's literally going to be a matter of seconds and minutes as to whether we'll see an 8th inning or not. 2.5-hour time limit it is, as we have gone back to 9 innings. But that is partly to protect what we're seeing here today, some belabored innings, maybe more arms than the Unicorns expected, the way this game started. 1-0 is in for strike one. This is the second arm used by Ed Campanella today.
It's all about saving those arms. That's what the time limit's intended for. Trying to reduce the amount of injuries and the fatigue of these pitchers.
And fatigue is not something they take very likely either on the pitching side. If there's any kind of soreness, as long as the player admits it, they will likely be kept out of an outing or a start, whatever it may be. That's something that is harped upon by Justin Orenduff and Shane McCaddy. Because it's not just, usually an outright occurrence. It's something that either builds or has built and creates something a bit worse. Here's a fly ball to left center field. Verdejo chasing that one back. He looks up and it's gone. Wow. We're tied at 3 apiece all of a sudden here in the 7th.
Curiel got a high fastball and just ripped it to left center. He's super pumped. And so are all the Unicorn fans here, too.
Another Kozak's Mr. Muffler home run plated by Donovan Curiel, the first of his professional career. And now John Hodo will try to keep it moving here in the 7th. The first runs that Cuevas has given up this year.
Might have gave him the announcer's curse on that one. I did say the 0 ERA.
That's okay.
It happens to everybody.
It does.
Nobody's perfect. Hodo 0 for 1, reaching on base with an error in this game. Fans and misses on that one, 0-2 now.
Frankie Luska, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the 7th. Krenrich still warming for the Unicorns here. Now the 0-2. High and away. Slider there. poked foul. Again, if you're just tuning in, Polish-American night tomorrow. Then German Heritage Night. What is that, Sunday? Or Saturday? Saturday, yep.
And then Father's Day, Sunday.
Yep, good stuff. Ordered some tickets today for Dad. He'll be in attendance.
All right.
Here's the 1-2. Up high, 2-2 on John Hodo.
I'm sure he's pretty happy about those. A lot of baseball dads out there. Shout out to you guys.
For sure. Waiting on the 2-2 pitch here. Swing and a miss. Got him for the second out here in the 7th. Now back to the top of the order.
Frankie Luska, the leadoff hitter, with a RBI single and a walk today. Reaching base in 2 of his 3 at-bats today.
Doing what he does best. Checks into play with a .630 on-base percentage, and that will increase it again.
He's reached base on almost everything you can that would improve your on-base percentage today.
Walk, single RBI, hit by pitch. Was able to coax his 10th walk of the year to only his 3rd strikeout back in the 4th. Plated his 4th RBI, and now his first HBP. And make no mistake, if he was hitting lower in this lineup, he sure would have a few more RBIs. Maybe not that many, though, because of all the walks, as Shoemaker is able to squeeze the 3rd out of the 7th inning. We squeaked just below the 2-hour and 30-minute limits here today. We will see an 8th after this.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Simple. Ooh, kind of close. Oh, almost. Oh, party foul. Here we go. Almost. Oh, he got one. Oh, you got them all. He made this look so super easy. He didn't even that whole minute. Guys, give it up for Dylan. He's a pro.
There you go. Tail end of a promotion here at Jimmy John's Field. That's Chelsea Estes with your Beat the Clock live on the field here today. There you see the line. 3 hits. Or check that, 3 runs off 5 hits and 1 error for the Beavers. 3 runs off 4 hits and 2 errors for the Unicorns as we reach the top of the 8th. Brandon Krenrich will take over on the mound now in a tie score. Unicorns doing a nice job of tying things up after the big hearty swing by Donovan Curiel. He's done a lot of things right, but that adds to the benefits of having him on this roster. He bobbed quite a few balls in batting practice here today as well. Collier, Rutledge, Austin Shoemaker, and Keyshawn Lynch, your Zach Hart agency. 3 men due up in the 8th. Rutledge with a walk and a run scored back in the 6th, and a walk by Shoemaker. That's what was a 4-walk inning in the end for Greg Shanahan, which ultimately plated the first run at that point. Rutledge going to get things going against Brandon Krenrich here, who has been one of the better arms in the USPBL this year. I mean, his numbers inflated, a 5.62 ERA, but that's kind of chalked down to one outing where things got away. But in general, 3 walks to 13 strikeouts. That's a strikeout rate early on of 15 and a walk rate of 3.
It's a good ratio.
Through 8 innings of work. Hardy fastball as well from this right-handed arm.
5 strikeouts per walk. It's a good ratio to have.
Fastball topping out at 92 thus far. Has kind of acted as the Unicorns' closer. Well, back here live on the USPBL Network tomorrow at 6:50. The West Side Woolly Mammoths and the East Side Diamond Hoppers getting back into action. And it'll be the Beavers and the Hoppers in the doubleheader on Saturday. Or check that, I'm a day ahead of myself. We're starting on Wednesday here, people. So it is the Mammoths and Hoppers tomorrow. Then the Beavers and the Hoppers on Friday, and the Unicorns and the Mammoths in the doubleheader on Saturday. 0-2 to Hodo. Easy play for the first out.
Those sneaky Wednesday games are going to get you.
Sure will. We had them a bit more last year because of the very condensed schedule that we had to cram in starting in July, and certainly those scheduled doubleheaders became a thing last year as well in an effort to get in games. That's just another way to maybe avoid those non-public games like we've seen in the past year as well, earlier on in the week where attendance wasn't a thing, just to get more games in. Quietly, 5 straight outs recorded now between Keon Taylor and Brandon Krenrich. He recorded every out that was available to him, 4 between the 6th and the 7th innings. Shoemaker was a part of that walk parade that ended up plating a run for the Beavers, which at that point extended the lead to 3-1 and felt pretty safe, didn't it? How this game was going?
Certainly for a minute there, until that Curiel 2-run bomb to left center kind of made this game a little bit more exciting.
There's the slider from Krenrich. 1-2 now.
So this will be the last full inning.
Krenrich to deliver. Get Shoemaker. 2 away now.
For the second out here in the 7th, and now Keyshawn Lynch will look to get on for the 3rd time today.
Now batting, number 5, Keyshawn Lynch.
Lynch stepping in now. Reached base on an error and a walk today already.
First pitch to Lynch, up and in, so just received word on where this game stands and kind of where we thought it would be. This is the last true inning, if you want to call it that, as we've surpassed the 2-hour and 30-minute time limit, as this one is in for strike 1. So if there is no winner here in the 8th, we start extra innings in the 9th, if that makes sense to you. Just, I guess, just think of it as an 8-inning game here tonight. Going to have to take it game by game in terms of explaining these types of things to you. This one outside, 2-1 the slider again. But a change to your extra innings rules, there will not be a international tie-breaking run on second base, and they will play to a win. So it's not a max 2 innings of extras.
That's something new. Normally we do have that international rule where we do have a runner in second, but that's not the case anymore.
3-1 on Keyshawn Lynch. As Krenrich delivers here. This one, the slider just inside. First base runner for the Beavers here in the 8th.
Umpire did not buy that framework that Finney was selling. Verdejo has a walk today and had runners on all the base paths, really wanting to slap one to get more runs in for the Beavers. Just missed a couple key pitches, that's all.
13 pitches delivered so far by Brandon Krenrich here in the 8th, as this one is another delivery over to first. Jordan Carr watched the base runners pretty closely when he was in as well in his 6 innings of work. Or check that, 4 innings of work. Now the 0-1. Little pop fly to right center. Galassi gets a good beat for the 3rd out here in the 8th inning. It's the last chance in regulation for the Unicorns to score some runs. Otherwise, we're headed to extras. 3, 4, 5 up for this Unicorns lineup. They've been fairly quiet today. But stick around. Pretty good hitters coming up.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. Having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me. No stopping.
Cole Stanton looking for the hold in this one as he takes over in the bottom of inning number 8. The 3rd arm used for Ed Campanella here tonight. It was Barrington who started. He was relieved by Ed Cuevas, who went a couple. Now Cole Stanton works the 8th.
Stanton working that closing role. Like you said, he's trying to go for the hold here, but he does have a save already on the season. Just a notable stat for him. He's got 8 innings pitched, 2nd most so far by any of the pitchers on the Beaver lineup.
Yeah, 3 runs given up, none of them earned thus far. So he and Ed Cuevas came into this game as the only 2 Beavers pitchers to not give up a earned run coming in.
Drew Galassi for the Unicorns now in the batter's box.
Well, if there's one guy that you circle looking for a home run, he's got to be it. He has 3 so far this year. Him and Noah Childress hitting back-to-back in the lineup here in the 8th, brought to you by Zach Hart Agency. Stay tuned. First pitch fastball at 91 outside. This is going to be some of the better stuff you see by a pitcher here tonight in terms of what Cole Stanton brings to the picture as well. 1-0. Elevated fastball at 90 by him.
One swing of the bat could end it here at Jimmy John's Field this evening.
Cole Stanton exclusively fastball slider. Does have a curveball in the back pocket as well. But all his appearances, mostly at the back end of games, is that one just whittled foul. Galassi today, a single. Mixed into between 2 outs tonight. Ground out back in the first and a pop out in the 6th and a single off a 3-1 pitch in the 4th. Just not trying to do too much with that one.
Nice easy single. Never hurt anybody here, especially for the Unicorns. This one's popped to left.
It's for Verdejo for the first down. So Childress and then Sakopoulos is the third man due up here in the 8th. We've already seen 2 lifted off the bench today for Jim Essien. He pinch hit Marcus Irving for Jordan Finney, and also pinch ran Malik Blaze for Aaron Takis. First pitch to Childress, swing and a miss. Wipeout slider at 80. It's a slider with curveball spin.
It's an interesting combo.
Slider velocity.
Right.
Floats its way just into left field. So a 1-out single in the 8th. Sets up Ari Sakopoulos, who looking for his first professional RBI that's not been a home run. Can potentially drive in the winning run over at first base.
Nice easy knock here to the outfield. Would help.
He drove in 113 runs in 589 at-bats in college, all at the College of Charleston. Him and Jordan Carr coming from the same spots. 0-1 in for strike 2, and Sakopoulos is actually the guy that told Jordan Carr about the USPBL and said, hey, I have a pretty good relationship with Jim Essien. Would you be interested in playing indie ball? And he says, of course. Can you hook me up? And that's how it worked. Sakopoulos choking up here with 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Got a good hitter on strikes here in the 8th for the 2nd out. And now Aaron Takis will come to, or actually Blaze will come to the plate as the last chance for the Unicorns in regulation here.
Number 9, Malik Blaze.
Well, the one possible saving grace in extra innings for the Unicorns, I guess, is Miguel Sereno, a guy that has come both out of the bullpen and started, so he could give you a couple. As this one is popped up foul. The new rules do state, though, there is no international tiebreaker. There is no tie, theoretically. Now, if a team runs out of pitching, they're not going to force it, I don't think, for too long. Maybe you see one position player out there and you call it quits after that, if even then.
Pull a Minnesota Twins.
Get the ephus out.
Acidio.
Here's the 0-1. On the corner for strike 2, the fastball at 90.
Wonder if Travis McFarland's got anything up his sleeve.
Never know. Here's the 0-2. Lined off the glove of Stanton. Careened right to Mercedes, who feeds it to Keyshawn Lynch there at second base. We head to extras here on the USPBL Network.
New flooring from the Carpet Guys is as easy as 1, 2, free. 1, just call the Carpet Guys for fast, free, and home shopping. 2, get massive warehouse direct savings. And 3, I mean free, as in 4 years of interest-free financing. That's 1, 2, free, but only for a limited time. So be wise and call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS or visit carpetguys.com today.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the ninth and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the ninth, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA councils.
Brandon Krenrich back out there for his second inning of work here. You'd think a max 2 maybe for Krenrich here today coming out of the bullpen, but we'll see. Miguel Sereno has been tuning up as well. Krenrich has appearances all out of the bullpen, and his longest stint has been 2 innings. Had a total of 8 and 7 appearances coming into the game here today. 1 save, as we mentioned earlier as well, but has been kind of getting that back end roll. But the Unicorns have been winning most games, so he hasn't had to pitch really the bottom of the 7th and what would be now the bottom of the 9th here today. If they were in that situation, they are the visiting team checking into play here today.
Last time he had a situation like this was back in the first game of the 2021 season when it was a walk-off, very similar to this, in extra innings. Both of these two teams, Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and the Utica Unicorns, ending in a 5-4 victory for the Unicorns. That was the first time they met. Oh, 1 to McFarland.
So they have changed things up a bit. Not sure if it's a decision based on pitching here tonight, but we heard one thing differently, and now another thing is happening. Murray Verdejo starts on second base to begin the top of the 9th, extra innings here today because of the 2.5-hour time limit. 0-1 is outside, the slider at 79. Christian LeBoy, your Zach Hart agency man on deck.
In the hold, they got Dallas Bender. McFarland with an even count.
Fly ball to left. That's going to hug the foul pole and just squeak out of here. Big time home run for Travis McFarland as he puts a 2 spot on the Unicorns here in the 9th.
He knew that one right off the bat. Pulled it down to the left field foul pole. All smiles for him. Little dance. Travis McFarland gives the Beavers a 2-run lead.
His 3rd home run of the year. The 3rd time he's reached base in this one as well. Had a walk in the 6th and a single back in the 1st. Now, given the Unicorns will have the same opportunity with the international tie-breaking runner on second base, it's going to be Malik Blaze, who has some decent speed. So if Krenrich is able to get out of this unscathed anymore, they still have a chance to do the same in the bottom half, as that's whittled foul down the right field line.
Ray just running out of real estate over there, unable to make the play.
Miguel Sereno has since sat down. Not sure if that means he's ready or they don't anticipate him to come in, at least right now, in the 9th. He pitched a few innings on Sunday. 0-1 is away.
LeBoy 1 for 3 today with a single, and he got on base by a hit by pitch as well. This one's skied to left.
Broke his bat, it sounded like, as well. Blaze playing third base as he took over for Takis. Collects the first out.
Number 17.
That'll bring up Dallas Binder, who's still looking for his first hit today, but he's reached base on an error.
Sereno started on Sunday, pitched 3 innings, allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk to 1 strikeout through 40 pitches. So what, that gave him Monday, Tuesday to rest. Not the best, I guess, but I guess the benefit is he only threw 3.
Not too strenuous.
I believe pitched 1 inning previously last week as well. 90-mile-an-hour fastball in for strike 1. But if he was throwing in the bullpen, probably a good indication that he doesn't have any soreness and was fairly ready to go. But I'm sure they'd like Brandon Krenrich to get through the 9th here, which is his 3rd inning of work. First time he has done that this season.
Bender with a hitter's count, 2-1.
Outside, the wipeout slider. I beg your pardon. This is only his 2nd inning of work if he gets through it full. Forgot to put the little mark after Keon Taylor came out after the end of the 7th. He did a great job today. 4 up, 4 down. Got them out of a bases-loaded situation with a run already scoring in that 6th inning of work. Fastball at 90 outside.
Full count now for Bender. See what he does with it.
Whittled on the ground, Blaze. Good first read on it. Slings it over to first. 2 up and 2 down after the home run, thanks to Malik Blaze.
He played that very cleanly. Those are not easy hops to read, and that was textbook.
Blaze showing that he can pretty much play anywhere in the infield. We've seen him in the middle, at both spots at 2nd and short, over at 3rd. Probably will never see him unless he really needs to be over at 1st because he's not your prototypical
big
first
man.
baseman,
Yeah.
or I guess 3rd baseman for that matter, but
Doesn't have the height nor necessarily the bigness of a first baseman or a traditional first baseman.
it'll be Irving, Curial, and Hodo. Up for the bottom of the 9th. After this, as Krenrich strikes out Mercedes. They need 2 to tie again.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Welcome back to the bottom of the ninth. Irving, Curiel, and Hodo, your Zach Hart agency men, due up here against Cole Stanton. And for this thing to continue, we need 2 more runs. And then we'll see who would come in for the Unicorns. Sereno probably the only arm left. But a lot of work to do for this Unicorns hitting staff, which hasn't been a sure bet here today.
No, we were actually expecting to see a lot more out of the Unicorn bats since they've been rolling the past 4 games on a 4 consecutive game win streak. Cole Stanton here with an opportunity to get his 2nd save of the season for the Beavers here on Oldies Night and Meet the Beavers Night.
Double dip of promotions, always good.
We got a new batter for the Utica Unicorns. Stepping in is John Tuttle. Taking the spot of Marcus Irving. Signs of bunt. Marcus Irving on, or Malik Blaze on second base for the Unicorns from the international rule.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. The fastball at 90.
Tuttle hasn't seen too many at-bats so far this year. Looking to get his first RBI and first hit of the season.
Outside, 1-2 now. Something to track for Brandon Krenrich, kind of holding his finger after coming out and striking out that last batter. Not sure if it was some sort of blister or not, but hadn't shown any other signs of injury. And ouch, that's off the, maybe just above the elbow of Tuttle. And we'll put the tying run on, and are they going to say that hit the bat? Tuttle might agree as he's going back. Or is he? He was heading back towards home plate. Now he's marching towards first, and they say it is a foul ball.
No matter what, if it did hit the bat, it still might have hit him. It's not a good sign for John Tuttle. Not only is it a foul ball, but you also might have had a bruise there too now.
So instead of first and second and the tying run being on first, it's runner on second and a 1-2 count with no outs here in the ninth. Checked his swing, or did he? The appeal says no. A frustrating at bat for Tuttle, as that's the first out here in the ninth. And here's the hero before that sent us to this point of extra innings.
Curiel with a 2-run shot to left center in his last at bat. Hopes he can try to tie it up again.
First pitch fastball, the best in this inning for Stanton at 91 and for strike one. That's 91 with some spin on it as well. Above average, certainly here in the USPBL, and even at the higher levels for a fastball. Snaps a slider in for strike two. John Hodo, the man on deck, and he will come to the plate unless something crazy happens, but I don't even know what happened. What would happen at that point, because there's nobody left on the bench. Here's the 0-2. High.
The only thing that could happen is if a strikeout to Curiel and runner goes to third and a throw down to third results in an out, that'd be the end of the game. Otherwise, Hodo's going to get into plate appearance.
Did not check his swing again there. as that's back-to-back strikeouts now for Cole Stanton. And John Hodo is, in fact, the last shot here in the ninth. Able to collect his third hit of the year. Make it the fourth, actually, off a single in the fifth, reached third.
John Hodo, one of those hits came off of the same scenario, but back on May 28th on opening day. He was the hero back then.
Popped it up here. Shoemaker discarding the mask, leaning. That one in for the third out of the ball game, and that is our final score. Cole Stanton able to nail down the victory here today. 5-3. The Birmingham Bloomfield win here tonight as they collect 6 hits off just 1 error. Be back with our Auto Lab post-game show as Nick. We'll catch up with our player of the game after this here on the USPBL Network.
New flooring from the Carpet Guys is as easy as 1, 2, free. 1, just call the Carpet Guys for fast, free and home shopping. 2, get massive warehouse direct savings. And 3, I mean free, as in 4 years of interest-free financing. That's 1, 2, free, but only for a limited time. So be wise and call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS or visit carpetguys.com today.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the ninth and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the ninth, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
I'm all out of love for my old insurance. Switch to insurance. They're saving me so much. They covered my car and bundled with my home. I feel so secure to say I love insurance.
Hello, AAA Insurance.
Goodbye, insurance. Hello.
Insurance.
Get a quote and save up to 20%.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
The Carpet Guys give you warehouse direct pricing and customer service that will knock your socks off.
Now at the Carpet Guys, you can get 4 years interest-free financing. Plus, we're taking extra precautions to ensure the safety of our customers.
Let the Carpet Guys bring the store to your door with prices that will knock your socks off. Be wise and call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS. Locally owned and supporting Michigan families.
Be wise, call the Carpet Guys at 855-4MY-GUYS.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the ninth and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the ninth, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Only at your Chevrolet certified service dealer do you get tires engineered specifically for your vehicle and a price match guarantee.
With our tire price match guarantee, if you find a better price within 30 days of purchase, we'll refund the difference. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Travis McFarland, who hit the game-winning home run here on Beavers Night. Meet the Beavers Night. You were the hero of the Beavers fans. What is your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero? I'm gonna have to go with Deadpool.
Deadpool. Can you explain why maybe he's your favorite?
He's the funniest, and I try to be that guy.
Very funny, very funny. I also saw you have some impressive dance moves after you hit that home run. Could you tell us, will we be seeing some more of that?
If I keep my same approach like I did that last AB, not trying to do too much, hopefully I probably will.
Awesome, Travis, awesome. You're also not just leading the team in home runs, but you're also leading the team in average, on base percentage, walks, RBIs. You're really producing for this team. What goes through your mind, and what kind of approach do you take up at plate?
Like I said, I just try to, not do too much and keep it simple. When I keep it simple, good things happen, and that's what happened today.
Good things happen when you put the ball in play, exactly. Just keep it with the fundamentals, of course, Now, what was going through your mind after you hit that home run?
Man, it didn't really hit me until, the game was over. I was like, man, I really did that. It was awesome feeling, when my team needed me the most, I came through, so.
Very clutch. Awesome. It's great to hear it. All right, one more question for you. Are you a green bean or corn kind of guy?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go with corn guy. You can do a lot more with corn. You can't do that many things with green beans.
Can't do that many things with green beans. He's a corn guy. Well, Travis, thank you so much for your time. Way to be, and keep it up. Guys, this is Nick Matthews from Jimmy John's Field with Travis McFarland, the game-winning home run. Thank you, guys.